Picture this. You wake up this morning, check your portfolio, and silver has jumped significantly. Investors around the world are asking the same question. What's driving this sudden surge? Whether you're a seasoned precious metals investor or just getting started, today's price movement in silver is something you can't afford to ignore. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what's happening with silver prices on January 23rd, why this metal is catching fire right now, and what it could mean for your investment strategy going forward. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand the forces moving one of the world's most versatile precious metals. Let me start by giving you the numbers. Silver has experienced a notable price increase today, building on momentum that's been developing over recent weeks. Now, this isn't just a random blip on the radar. When we look at the broader context, silver has been quietly positioning itself as one of the most compelling investment opportunities in the precious metals space. But to understand today's jump, we need to peel back the layers and examine the multiple factors converging at this exact moment in time. First and foremost, let's talk about the elephant in the room: global economic uncertainty. Central banks around the world are navigating an incredibly complex economic landscape right now. Interest rate policies, inflation concerns, and geopolitical tensions are creating an environment where investors are scrambling for safe haven assets. Silver, along with its more famous cousin gold, has historically served as a store of value during times of economic turbulence. When people lose confidence in traditional currencies or when stock markets become volatile, they turn to precious metals. This fundamental dynamic is playing out right now, and silver is benefiting tremendously from this flight to safety. But here's where it gets interesting. Silver isn't just a safe haven asset. Unlike gold, which is primarily used for jewelry and investment purposes, silver has enormous industrial applications. This dual nature makes silver particularly fascinating from an investment standpoint. Think about the technologies that are shaping our future: solar panels, electric vehicles, 5G infrastructure, medical devices, and electronics. All of these require significant amounts of silver. The green energy transition alone is creating unprecedented demand for silver. A single solar panel uses approximately 20 grams of silver. And as countries worldwide commit to renewable energy targets, the demand curve is pointing sharply upward. Today's price jump is also being influenced by supply-side dynamics that many investors overlook. Silver mining is not a simple operation that can be ramped up quickly when prices rise. Many silver mines are reaching maturity, and the discovery of new high-grade deposits has been declining. Additionally, a significant portion of silver comes as a byproduct of mining other metals like copper, lead, and zinc. This means that silver supply is somewhat constrained by the economics of these other metals. When you combine this relatively inelastic supply with surging demand, you create the perfect conditions for price appreciation. Let's zoom in on what specifically happened today. Market analysts are pointing to several catalytic events that converged on January 23rd. Recent economic data releases have shown persistent inflation in major economies, reinforcing the narrative that precious metals remain relevant as inflation hedges. Furthermore, there are indications that industrial demand forecasts are being revised upward, particularly in the renewable energy sector. Companies are securing their silver supply chains ahead of anticipated shortages, which is putting additional pressure on available inventory. The relationship between the US dollar and silver prices is another critical piece of this puzzle. Silver, like most commodities, is priced in US dollars. When the dollar weakens against other major currencies, it makes silver cheaper for foreign buyers, which naturally increases demand. Recent dollar movements have created a favorable environment for silver prices. Currency traders are watching central bank policies closely, and any hints of monetary easing or shifts in interest rate expectations can ripple through to precious metals markets almost instantly. Now, I want to address something that separates silver from gold in a meaningful way: the gold to silver ratio. This ratio measures how many ounces of silver it takes to buy 1 ounce of gold. Historically, this ratio has averaged around 60 to 1, but it has swung dramatically over different periods. When this ratio is high, it suggests that silver is undervalued relative to gold. Savvy investors watch this ratio because, when it eventually corrects, silver often experiences explosive price movements. The current ratio dynamics are creating opportunities that haven't been seen in years, and today's price action might be the beginning of a significant revaluation. The investment community's sentiment toward silver is also shifting noticeably. For years, silver was somewhat overlooked as investors focused on gold or chased returns in equity markets. But that narrative is changing. Social media has democratized investment information, and retail investors are becoming increasingly sophisticated about precious metals. We've seen grassroots movements around silver investing gain traction, and while these can create short-term volatility, they also bring new capital and attention to the market. Institutional investors are taking notice too, with holdings in silver ETFs and futures contracts showing meaningful increases. Let me talk about the geopolitical factors that are often underestimated. Trade tensions, regional conflicts, and political uncertainty all contribute to market anxiety. When the geopolitical landscape becomes unstable, investors seek assets that aren't tied to any single country's economic performance or political system. Silver fits this bill perfectly. Recent developments in international relations, supply chain reconfigurations, and resource nationalism in mining countries are all feeding into the bullish case for silver. Countries are increasingly viewing strategic resources through a security lens, and silver's role in critical technologies makes it a metal of national importance. The technical picture for silver is also supporting today's move. Traders who follow chart patterns and technical indicators have been watching silver test key resistance levels. When prices break through these technical barriers, it often triggers algorithmic trading systems and momentum-based strategies that can amplify price movements. Today's jump may have been accelerated by these technical factors, as stop-loss orders were triggered and breakout traders entered positions. The interplay between fundamental drivers and technical trading creates a feedback loop that can drive prices higher in the short term. Storage and physical delivery dynamics in the silver market deserve attention as well. Unlike stocks or bonds that exist primarily in electronic form, physical silver takes up space and requires secure storage. Recent years have seen drawdowns in exchange inventories and increases in physical demand from investors who prefer to hold actual metal rather than paper claims. When physical demand exceeds available supply at current prices, it creates upward pressure. Reports of delays in physical delivery and premiums for physical silver over paper prices are indicators of tightness in the market. For those of you watching this video who are considering whether to invest in silver or add to existing positions, let me offer some perspective. Today's price jump is exciting, but smart investing is about understanding the long-term thesis, not just chasing daily movements. Silver offers exposure to both the precious metals narrative and the industrial growth story. It provides diversification benefits in a portfolio and has historically preserved purchasing power over long time horizons. However, silver is also more volatile than gold and can experience sharp swings in both directions. Your investment decision should be based on your individual financial situation, risk tolerance, and investment timeline. Looking ahead, several factors will determine whether today's price jump is the start of a sustained rally or temporary spike. Watch for continued data on industrial demand, particularly from the solar and electric vehicle sectors. Pay attention to central bank policies and inflation trends. Monitor the US dollar's trajectory against major currencies. Keep an eye on mining supply reports and inventory levels. These indicators will give you clues about silver's next move. The silver market is at a fascinating juncture right now. Decades of underinvestment in mining, accelerating industrial demand, macroeconomic uncertainty, and shifting investor sentiment are all converging. Today's price jump on January 23rd is a symptom of these deeper structural forces. Whether you're a buyer, seller, or simply an observer, understanding what's driving this movement helps you make informed decisions in an increasingly complex financial landscape. So what's the bottom line? Silver is having its moment today because multiple bullish factors are aligning simultaneously. The safe haven bid is strong, industrial demand is robust and growing, supply is constrained, and investor appetite is returning. This isn't just about one day's price action. It's about recognizing that silver occupies a unique position in the investment universe, offering characteristics that few other assets can match. As we navigate uncertain economic times and transformative technological changes, silver's dual role as both a monetary metal and an industrial commodity makes it increasingly relevant. Thank you for watching today's breakdown of the silver price surge. If this video helped you understand what's happening in the precious metals market, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to stay updated on market movements and investment insights. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on silver. Are you bullish on this metal for the long term, or do you see today's move as overdone? I read every comment and love hearing from this community. Until next time, stay informed, invest wisely, and remember that knowledge is your most valuable asset in any market.